Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
If you're wondering about what you can do if you find yourself in an FCPA compliance action, check out the FCPA Survival Guide. It's my latest book. It's sponsored by Ethico, and in it, I take up and write the top 10 things you can do to reduce your overall fine and penalty if you find yourself in an FCPA enforcement action. So check out the FCPA Survival Guide. The Daily Compliance News for February 12, 2025, the Hui Chen on the Bondi Memo edition. And we begin with that story from Law 360 as Hui Chen, the first compliance counsel from the Department of Justice, provided expert analysis on what day one Bondi memos mean for corporate compliance. She looked at enforcement priorities, settlements and departmental guidance, DEI, the death penalty, and says that Bondi's first day memos paint a clear picture of the DOJ's priorities and stirs up a great deal of uncertainty. But that if you have a ethics-based value system, then you should be able to survive even the Trump administration. Next up, from the Financial Times, they are not shy with the following headline: Trump is giving a green light to corruption abroad. The op-ed piece, authored by Alan Beatty, says it's remarkable it took Trump 3 weeks to freeze enforcement of the FCPA, as that's in Trump's nature. And he views this as a business tool which should be used even if it's illegal. So it's going to be interesting to see the Serious Fraud Office's reaction to this when U.S. companies engage in bribery and corruption in Britain. Next up, from Forbes, it appears that they have noted that ethics programs are much more than about legal compliance. Well, I'm glad Forbes recognizes that, because if you're going to have any resilience around your risk management profile and your risk management protocol during this time, you're going to need to have ethics and a values-based program. This is what Hui Chen said in her piece, and now it's reiterated in Forbes. Our final story comes to us from the Wall Street Journal, but it's a sports piece. And it's about the buyer's remorse that the group led by the current owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves had in selling the team to Alex Rodriguez and others. He sold it in 2021, but put a 3-year delay on it, and now he doesn't want to sell it because it's worth more. At the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.